There are people dumber than you that have everything that you desire in life and are making far more money than you will ever make, so long as you continue to focus on the big picture and over strategize everything and overthink everything in your life, every move that you make. See, what you're experiencing, if you're anything like I was in my earlier years, and you are a bit of an intellectual, you tend to overthink things. You're an intelligent person, but you overthink things because you have so much information in your head. And you end up getting bogged down by what most people would call analysis paralysis. And yet, you see all of these other guys in similar business models as you, or just in business in general, that seem to be accelerating at a speed that you cannot fathom. And the harsh reality is this: while you are suffering from analysis paralysis, these individuals are literally not even analyzing anything that they're doing. I want you to take a moment and truly understand that. You ever heard the saying, too dumb to fail? Well, that's a real fucking thing. And the reality is maybe you're too smart to succeed. You're too smart for your own good. You're overthinking all the different moves you got to make. You're trying to methodically approach every business model that you jump into. Meanwhile, some guy is out here just raw dogging the whatever online business model he ended up seeing on his TikTok For You page first. Except there's one thing that critically differentiates him from you. He sees a business model. He asks himself, okay, that looks cool, or I want the lifestyle of the individual that has shown this business model to me. What is the easiest, most immediate action that I can take in that direction towards achieving that thing, towards building that business? And he just does it. He doesn't overthink it. He doesn't say, oh, maybe it's content creation. How do I create the highest quality content possible? How do I fully understand how the camera works, the editing studio, what software do I use? Reverse engineer his whole goal. He doesn't do any of that. He picks up his fucking phone probably and records a video just holding it up and, oh, hey guys, welcome, my YouTube channel. He doesn't overthink any of it. And yet he just puts enough reps in to eventually learn and optimize his approach almost accidentally in some cases, actually probably in most cases with guys like this. And then he ends up being a success. But meanwhile, you're hyperfixating on all those details, all that additional information that you don't necessarily need in order to just take vicious action in the beginning, to get started, to put the reps in and build the discipline and the habit of doing the thing that you want to do in building the business that you want to build. And you see, the other proponent of that narrative is some of these guys are just too dumb to fail. Well, there's some truth in that. Because a smart intellectual might say, well, I've experienced X amount of failures in this business, and so I should probably seek out another business model to jump to. Or I should probably pack up shop and settle for the easy, safe job that's going to pay me X amount every month and I can have a guaranteed income on a steady basis and not have to worry about all this shit. Like, that seems like the smart, logical thing to do. Here's the thing. The world is not necessarily a logical place. And as far as business is concerned, it's the law of the fucking jungle out here. Survival of the fittest. It's not survival of the smartest. It's survival of the fittest. And the reality is the fittest are those that put in the most repetitions and know their turf better than anybody else and are physically and mentally capable of protecting their turf. That's it. And they're willing to squash anybody that comes between them and what they want. As opposed to, again, the overthinker, going back to that. You know, you think to yourself all the reasons as to why you might fail, or as to why this might not work out, or this isn't maybe the best plan for me, and I should switch up to something else. You know, I'm being logical. And these guys that are just too dumb to fail are out here running laps around you boys. Because they don't even think about that shit. They don't care. And so I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, for a lot of young guys trying to make it in business, like if you are an intellectual, or you would consider yourself to be, you know, you're one of those guys that high school, college, it all came easy to you, as I know it did for me. It's just, I don't have to show up to class. I can be a degenerate and I'm still getting good grades. Like this shit just comes natural. If you're one of those guys and you see the opportunity that an online business model offers to you, one of the most valuable skill sets that you could possibly learn is learn to shut your brain off. To learn to stop thinking logically in certain circumstances and simply focus on the task at hand or the task in front of you, or the most immediate task that you can take action on, and just bang out those repetitions. Volume negates luck. That's why these dumber guys are running laps around you guys. That's why they're achieving so much more than you. That's why they're making so much more money than you. Because that just comes naturally to them. Like they don't need to turn their brain off because it's never been on. You know what I mean? And I'm not dissing these guys. In fact, a lot of these dumber guys, whatever you want to call them, they're my friends. I like being around people like that. I like being around guys that just literally want to take vicious action. Aren't worried about what the overarching strategy is or what the repercussions may be. Aren't worried about whether or not we should pack up shop at a certain point in time. They just want to press the fucking boundaries for the sake of pressing the boundaries. And I have nothing but respect for that. And while I may be an intellectual and I may want to strategize about certain things, I have learned over the course of 6.5 years in being in business, I have learned to be able to shut that piece of my brain off, to shut off that subconscious, logically inclined individual that is within me in order to just focus on the doing and get shit done. And I did the same shit with this YouTube channel, you know? I spent an awful long time trying to master the camera, trying to master the editing, trying to master the content plan. And like right now, I'm just sitting in front of you guys, smoking a cigar, drinking some whiskey, and I don't care what comes of this, you know? To grow on YouTube, I know I have to create YouTube content. So here I am creating YouTube content. I haven't thought much past that. Even though my brain's natural inclination is to think past that, I have trained myself not to. And the only way that I have found to be able to do that, in all honesty, is to just hyperfixate the way I do on data and information and knowledge, to hyperfixate with that same level of energy on the first step to an operation. Like I just said, if I want to build a YouTube channel, the first step is to create videos, to film videos. So I set up my camera and I press record and then I just start talking to it. It's literally what I'm doing right now. And it's also why there's going to be a lot of cuts in this. And I'm going to have to chop this up and maybe spend more time in the editing studio than I would have if I had scripted this out or optimized my approach to approaching this video. But you know what? Had I spent all of that time doing that, I honestly don't know if I'd be sitting here right now recording this video. So for any of you overthinkers out there, for any of you intellectuals, you analytical thinkers, you guys need to find the people dumber than you, that are more successful than you, making more money than you, driving the car that you want, and study their game. Learn to think simpler. Learn to think less. To just turn off that logical thinking brain when it's time to put in the repetitions, when it's time to do the work. And I promise you it will pay off in spades, as it has for me. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I'm now going to enjoy the rest of my cigar and my glass of whiskey. And I will catch you all on the next video. God bless. But went out. That's what I get for recording a video that long. Fucking stupid shit.